Hola, bienvenidos a esta nueva serie de videos en la que estaré hablando sobre Marimba One y algunos de sus productos. Marimba One es una de las compañías más importantes del mundo en la creación de teclados de percusión. Hacen marimbas, vibráfonos, xilófonos y ahora están lanzando una nueva línea educacional con instrumentos dedicados a los estudiantes que están empezando en el mundo de la percusión. El día de hoy, para hablarnos de esta línea educacional, tengo la fortuna de haber entrevistado a Ron Samuels. Ron Samuels es el fundador de Marimba One y nos ha cedido un poco de su tiempo para hablarnos directamente sobre estos nuevos productos y sobre algunas cosas nuevas que vienen. Los invito a que disfruten el video.
We are really happy with this news about the new educational line from Marimba One. And I have some questions for you. The first is about the wood you are using for the instruments. We know
Yes.
that Marimba One always uses the best rosewood possible, and it's one of the characteristics of the instrument. We have always very beautiful instruments with great resonance and with great tuning. But now this new educational line has some new instruments using paduk. That is a different.
Yes.
It's a different wood. What can you tell us about this new wood? Why do you choose this particular wood?
So the reason we chose paduk is actually for like in the marimba and xylophone world, rosewood is always the best, and the next level down would be paduk, and so that's really why I used it, and I've experimented with paduk many times over the years and made a lot of keyboards, and so that's because people are actually used to the sound of paduk also as an educational instrument. So that's why I chose it.
Yeah. Do you think that wood has potential to become part of the concert instruments someday, or is just for the educational line?
That's an interesting question. I think there's nothing like the sound of rosewood, and because rosewood has no other wood can do what rosewood does. It has the brilliance at the top end of the instrument all the way down to incredible warmth at the bass end. And so paduk's not able to do that. But paduk, what's interesting to me about paduk is that when we started to work with it, we treated it just like rosewood, and we thought of it like rosewood in terms of how we wanted to tune it. And actually, it came out really nice. It came out nicer than we thought it was going to come out. And because, we've heard a lot of paduk instruments and played on many. And I think that paduk is definitely not as good as rosewood. But if you put a lot of care into it when you tune it, then it can sound nice. It really does. The other 4 1/3 octave marimba that we build is the wave 4 1/3 octave, and it has the identical resonators as the wave 4 1/3. There's absolutely no difference, and they're interchangeable. And the bar sizes, the sizes of all the bars on our educational instruments, they're identical to our concert marimbas. And the reason I wanted to do that is so that when students are learning to play, that if they move on to a bigger instrument, the bars are exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
So I know a lot of companies use narrower and shorter bars,
Mm-hmm.
which when I spoke with a lot of educators, they all really like the idea of us using just a regular full-size keyboard. So the bars are full size and the resonators are full size. And in the frame is very similar to our xylophone frame.
Okay.
In that it's completely rigid, like it won't like rack or tilt back and forth. It's just very lightweight, and it has our Izzy height adjustment system, but just scaled down for a smaller frame.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the xylophone because this is a new product. It's not part of the educational line. This is a concert xylophone.
Yeah.
What is your inspiration for this instrument? Do you try different brands, or what you were looking with this instrument? It's for orchestra or for solo playing?
So here's what I did is I talked to a lot of orchestra players and a lot of educators, and most of them told me they really liked a particular vintage model, which was the Deegan 870 and the Deegan 872. And the 870 is 3.5 octaves, and the 872 is 4 octaves. So what we did is I bought some old, a few of those, some of those old instruments, and what I did is studied them very, very closely. And so what we built is very similar to those old vintage instruments. And what we did is, I guess the difference, the bars will probably feel very, very similar, but what we did is we studied the acoustics of the resonators very, very closely, and able to get, I believe, more sound out of the instrument than the old instruments, just because of some of the things we do in the resonators. And the bars for the xylophones, the wood that we used on that it's so hard that with normal playing, like hard mallets, unwrapped mallets, the bars, you won't be able to pit or dent them. The rosewood is super, super hard. And I actually bought this wood in 2012. And I've been saving it all these years for xylophones.
Ron, I think that's all the questions I have. I don't know if you want to add something about the instruments or the mallets.
Let's see. In the next couple months, we're going to be adding more instruments to the educational line.
Ah, that's great.
Yeah, so we're going to have a 5-octave educational marimba with Paduk bars, but no resonators. And the idea is that people it'll be a full-size keyboard, and so people will be able to understand the spatial relationship of the mallets, so they'll be able to practice, but it won't have the resonators. And so we're going to introduce that we'll probably introduce that in about 6 to 8 weeks.
¿Qué les parece esa noticia? Tenemos una marimba de 5 octavas de estudio, hecha por Marimba One, con sus estándares de calidad, la afinación, las distancias exactamente igual que en una marimba de concierto, pero a un precio mucho más razonable para las personas que no pueden en este momento comprar un instrumento de concierto. El resto de la línea educacional obviamente también son instrumentos de gran calidad. El hecho de poder, por ejemplo, intercambiar los teclados de la marimba de 4 octavas y 1/3, en donde tenemos la posibilidad de comprarla en Paduk y luego comprar el teclado en palo de rosa para tener un instrumento de concierto. Espero que hayan disfrutado de este video y por favor déjenme en los comentarios cualquier cosa que quieran que tratemos en esta nueva serie de videos. Próximamente estaré hablando sobre baquetas y sobre instrumentos de Marimba One. Nos vemos.